Welcome back to the missing live stream. I'm got kind of in a hurry here. I just got in from a little trip and I was rushing around here to get everything done. I'm still trying to get my earphones uh, up. We're going to see if we can wait a few minutes here till we get till we get anybody in here to tell me if I've got any sound coming in or what the deal is, because I'm not hearing anything in my microphone here. I'm not hearing anything in my Bluetooth. Let's see here. I apologize for the mix up here. Let me go over here to my settings page and see if I can get my audio right. My audio seems to be good. I just don't know why I'm not hearing anything. Oh, the speaker is the microphone. That's what it says. Okay, perhaps if somebody, when everybody gets on, usually it takes a couple of minutes for people to come in. See if my microphone is even working. Let's see here. No, I don't want to mute my mic. I apologize, folks. Give me just a minute here. I got kind of late getting started, so it says my mic's working. So but I can't hear anything. So that's kind of weird. I can't hear anything on my earphones, which is kind of strange because I do a test and I can. But it does show that let me see. It does show that the mic is at least working. Okay. Well, it doesn't matter if I can hear or not, as long as y'all can hear. Maybe I'll get it figured out by the time somebody comes in and tell me if they can hear me. First, I want to touch on the Susan Morfin missing person. As most of you that are following that case, and if you don't know about Susan Morfin, I've got 2 or 3 videos. That was actually my first case that I examined on this. The mic is working great, excellent. Thank you, Denise. I really appreciate it. For some reason, I'm not hearing it, so I'm gonna go ahead and take these out. If you don't know about the Susan Morfin case, go back and watch my videos, and you'll be able to see what it's all about. But going back from that, earlier, I think a couple of days ago, a nude female body was discovered, according to reports, on Highway 24, about 85 to 90 miles from Susan's house in the roadway. Now, they're not releasing the name of the body, but Dad with a Phone is a YouTube creator, and he has kind of said that the body was a victim of domestic violence, and indicated that maybe that she had been assaulted once before. And I couldn't find anything on that. I don't know where he's getting his information at all, but I don't believe it would be Susan because of the time, 2 months, her being missing. They would have said a decomposed body. They would have 2 months, unless it was put in a freezer or something, your body's going to be very, very decomposed. And I've seen people that have been dead for a week or 2, and the body is pretty decomposed, especially if the weather's warm. And I don't know what it is in Colorado right now, but I would assume it by seeing the husband Barry out in a white beater type shirt and walking around in shorts, that it's warm enough where you would have some major decomposing of the body. But so I think when it comes out, it's not going to be her. And plus, if I was Barry Morphin and Morphew, excuse me, if I was him, I would be like at the scene down there saying, "Hey, is that my wife? Is that my wife?" But apparently, I haven't heard a peep out of him. Let's discuss this case, the disappearing of Tiffany Daniels. At the time she disappeared, and let me see, I just got my notes and I apologize. In the time she disappeared in 2013, I had just retired from that location down in that area. And I remember this case coming up and remembering that it always drew my interest out because of all the details about it. She was born in 1988, and she was actually working at a theater as a technician at Pensacola State Junior College. And I remember hearing about this. We were actually still living in on the Gulf Coast down there near Pensacola at the time. And I remember this case, and it just really baffled me. And it stirred a lot of interest in me because I was down in that area when this happened. And I remember everybody just really were looking for this girl and couldn't find her. She was a technician, theater technician. She loved her work. According to reports, she was just really loved her work. And she was at Pensacola State College. Reports say that she was working down there also, like I said, as a theater technician, and that she told her boss that she needed a couple of days off because she had some plans, and so they wasn't really expecting her back for a couple of days. A little back history on her: she had a boyfriend. He was moving to, I think, if my memory serves me right, he was moving to Texas, and that they were going to be primarily a long distance relationship, and that she had allowed a older man, I think he was around in his 50s, to move in with her at her apartment, and so she had went home. Apparently, he heard her come home to her apartment and then leave again. But he didn't know apparently what time she left. And he was on the phone apparently with his girlfriend, this like 50-something-year-old guy, and he wasn't really sure what time she came home. And so she didn't. He didn't really sure if he heard something, but he wasn't sure. He was on the phone with his girlfriend. Her boyfriend accepted a graduate robotics program at University of Texas in Austin. My notes now I'm referring back to my notes, and see here if I go back real quick because I don't want to miss anything. And like I said, I apologize. We were running late here coming back to the house, and so I had meant to read over it and get just to reabreast of it. But the roommate's name was Gary Nichols. He's 54 years old, the father of one of her friends. So, and their mother was kind of real suspicious of this Gary Nichols guy, but he was actually the first person that reported her missing. She came home from the theater job and then got something and then left again, and then so when she didn't show back up apparently that night, she's staying with friends and didn't report her. But then she didn't show up the next morning at the house. He, I guess, figured out something was up and reported it to either friends or the police. I'm not sure exactly how that happened, but what he discovered was that Daniels, Tiffany Daniels' car, a gray Toyota 4Runner, was gone. And she assumed that she had gone to work, but her parents, however, say that it was unusual for her to get up that early. So it was like 5 a.m. when Nichols recalled he heard a door open and close at the apartment, and then but he was on the phone with his girlfriend and didn't get up to see what was going on. He heard the door open and close several times. He looked outside his room thinking that Tiffany might have came in early in the morning instead of, going out. So he didn't remember seeing her that night. But she wasn't there. And then when he left at 7 o'clock in the morning, he realized the car was gone. So I hope that makes a little sense. Like I said, I wish I'd have sat down and reread over this whole thing because I had it all in my mind. But then we rushed home, and I came in like 10 minutes till the showtime, and hadn't had a chance to look it over. But regardless, she basically disappeared after that point. They had actually looked for a car and checked all of her friends, and even, was kind of suspicious of Nichols, but they realized that she was gone. Now, police put out be on the lookout for the vehicle, and it was discovered that the vehicle had entered over into Fort Gaines, I think it is, where the vehicle was found in a parking lot. And when when you enter into Fort Gaines, the area, you go across a bridge that has a camera on it. And then when the camera records a tag number, but it wasn't enough in the right spot to see who was driving the car. So at that time, with investigation of it, they found that the car had crossed over the bridge. And give me just a second here, and let me be 100% sure of everything. And I apologize again. Like I said, it was just I rushed in here and I didn't really have a chance to go through it. My cat's wanting out of the house. He's raising Cain. Detectives Daniel Hartnett met with Cindy and Tiffany's house and searched it. He said he found a no foul play, and Tiffany's tent was still in her room. Apparently she was a big hiker, big camper. And when she learned that her boyfriend had left Pensacola that day for this robotics type scholarship, they all thought, well, the boyfriend's up to something. But they contacted him, and he was cooperative. He provided fingerprints and DNA, and his cell phone records showed that he had indeed been in Austin all that weekend, where she and had not returned to Pensacola, where she went missing from. The vehicle, the truck, her vehicle, the Toyota, was eventually found in the parking lot of the beachfront parking lot. And hold on one second here. Let me review this one thing. I apologize again. I was just very rushed this afternoon, and I wasn't able to go back over the discovery of her car. And I feel like this is my fault totally, because I didn't take the time and just sit down and do it. One second. A jogger who was also a friend of Daniels recognized her 4Runner in the parking lot, park west of Pensacola Beach in Fort Pickens instead of Fort Gaines. I'm sorry. got games on my mind for some reason. Fort Pickens at the western end of Santa Rosa Island. And this is 8 days after, it'd be August the 20th, 8 days after she had been reported missing. And said she had often gone hiking in the dunes. And I'm going to show you a little bit of this parking lot. If I can pull it down here. Well, I said I would. Let's see if I can pull it off this other thing here. But her car, the way it was parked in the parking lot, was the issue that brought the attention to the guy that first saw it. And he reported it possibility of being the car. And they sure enough, they went out there and found the car. I want to go back up to Tiffany too. I had looked up a few things on her, and this is the parking lot. Let's see if I can download this thing. And I tell you what, I feel like a pure amateur now with the fact that I didn't have all these things done prior to starting this live stream, and I apologize. Whatever reason, I've had this overlay. I thought I had this overlay out already recorded, and for whatever reason, it's very, very slow. I can just say I'm sorry. I didn't have everything together. Pure amateurish on my part. But while that's loading, this picture's loading, I don't know, the internet's really throttled down right now. They show a picture from a camera of her vehicle, and it had all of her belongings in it, had her cell phone in it. Hello, Laurie. I appreciate it. I'm having a little difficulty today. My equipment's not working the way I want it to. I was late, just amateurish on my portion of it. But police searched her vehicle. They opened it up. I guess that it was unlocked or locked. I believe it was locked. But they looked in her vehicle. All of her cell phone, wallet, money, keys, and her bicycle, which had sand on the tires, which is one little thing about it that I don't quite understand. They looked in it, and they found everything, no problem. They found 2 fingerprints. They went ahead and impounded the vehicle after that. They did a thorough search first of the beachfront, and she was not found. And so they basically impounded the vehicle there at Fort Pickens, and they found 2 fingerprints, one on the door handle and one other one on the steering wheel, that could not be matched to Daniels or any other person. Now, that is actually, I appreciate it, Denise. That is actually common if you have a fingerprint that maybe it's somebody that's never been arrested before. And a lot of these people, at least you can rule out a sex offender, you can rule out somebody that's been in prison a long time. But it's really aggravating that this fingerprint has not been found. And what I'm wondering is, because nowadays the police, they put fingerprints in a computerized, it's called AFIS, and it will run. It used to had to send a fingerprint off the FBI, and they would have to go through it even manually and look through these fingerprints. I don't know how in the world they did it back then, but nowadays you can take a fingerprint, put it in AFIS, and it can search every person that's ever been fingerprinted in the United States, and even possibly through Interpol in the world, and find out who that person is. And that means if you're fingerprinted because of work, if you're fingerprinted for an adoption, if you're fingerprinted for an arrest, if you're fingerprinted for anything. Just think how many of y'all, if you've been fingerprinted. I've been probably fingerprinted 50 times in training and for police work and for U.S. Customs, being a part of their Blue Lightning Task Force, and for working with DEA, and just a whole number of adoption of our children. We've been fingerprinted for license, everything. So, that, and I understand too that go back to my notes here about being finding fingerprints on the door handles. As far as I know, no DNA was found, but at the time they didn't have anything other than the vehicles being in the parking lots. Let me see if I can get this thing upload. Yes, it did. This was actually where the vehicle was found, and I think it's that gray vehicle. I'm not 100% sure which one it is, but this was a parking lot. So you can see there was condos across the road from it. And let me see if I can pull up another picture I had. Now, like I said, I apologize for not having these pictures already done. If I'd have thought about it, I'd have done them last night. And I thought I did, but apparently I did not. But they put out some feelers and interviewed as many people as they could. I have to say, Pensacola PD or the sheriff's department over there did a super good job. They were right on top of it, unlike in the Kessie case that I featured last time. They were right there on top of this, and they had a huge amount of volunteers that went out. They searched the dunes, they searched the beach. They had helicopters flying up and down the beach where in the water is so clear out there, it's almost a light lime green color. If you have something in the water, someone underneath the water, it's pretty easy to see. This is the parking lot here. It shows, now the water out there doesn't look that color right now. After rain, everything comes out from the bay and gets muddy. So it could have been something on either side, but the beaches were searched, and they didn't find anything. And let me say something about drowning too, because I worked a lot of drownings in my career. If someone goes out and swims, and say they were swimming, got a cramp, whatever, and they drown, 9 times out of 10, they'll be found on the beach. They'll wash up on the beach within a mile. But if you search the water, and I know they did do a lot of searching in that general area, 9 times out of 10, that drowning victim's going to be right where they went under. But at this long a period of time, I know that they did look at the current, which way the current in that period of time, and they searched the beach all the way down to see if anything is washed up, and they didn't find anything. Now, I'm going to download a couple of other things I wanted for you to see. A lot of suspicion was around the boyfriend at first, that they thought, well, he did leave town the day she went missing. But they did interview him, and apparently he was in Texas, or close to Texas, and they did find some calls that they had been talking back and forth prior to her going missing. So they pretty much ruled him out as a suspect. Now, let me see, go back. I know I've got a poster of her. This is one poster that I'm going to download, and then I'm going to come in here after this. I can show you this one. I'm going to go and download another poster telling about it. This is her. They described her as a free spirit. In other words, she would talk to anybody. She would go off on her own. She would go camping and do a few things by herself. She was a real free-spirited person. I don't know exactly all what that means nowadays. It can mean just about anything. But they didn't overly get excited about not finding her at first, because they felt like maybe she went camping with some friends, maybe because she would, she would do these things without telling anybody. But when they found her truck with all her, like her phone and her bike and her tent was in her house, and no money with her and her keys, that kind of freaked them out, because they said that was totally unlike her to not call and or not take at least her phone with her, or her tent with her to go camping. Let me see. Okay. All right. This is, oops. Man. Got my hands is messed up today. As you will notice if you follow my live streams a lot, and I'll just go ahead and say it right now, I've got familiar tremors. The older I get, and this was one reason I retired from law enforcement, the older I get, the more my hands shake. They shake is something genetic in me, and it makes it real hard to operate a computer sometimes, so I'll have to work around it. This was a poster they put out, help find Tiffany Daniels. And you can see the pictures of her. She's kind of a free spirit, what she likes to do. They've got a website, and they have also a Facebook page that tells lots and lots of information. Fort Pickens entrance said that her cell phone, her bike were found in her car, which that threw them off pretty much right away. I would encourage you to go and read about it. It's pretty interesting, some of the stuff they put out. Also, she had some kind of weird tattoos on her feet. These are the tattoos on her feet, and also she had some other tattoos. But I think if somebody was at the beach or somewhere else, this would be real easy to spot. I know that the FBI has looked into this case, and she is on all kinds of websites, missing websites. But after the car was recovered, and they did do a follow-up, some of the neighbors said that they saw a guy, a medium, the way his description was, a medium-built male, get out of the car, go around to the back end of the car, open it up, the 4Runner, open up the back glass, either put something in or take something out. They wasn't sure. And then he closed it back up and he just walked away. The description was white male. The way I remember it, let me see if I can find the actual description to be a little bit more sure about it. But I do remember him saying that it was a white male, probably in his 30s. Nothing, just generic almost. It was impossible to get a sketch or to do anything else because of how far away he was. Let's see. Said that they found sand on the bicycle and the car, but none on the inside floorboards of the car. They thought maybe that she had rode her bike a while, got hot, and then went for a swim and drowned. But however, no bodies were ever found on the shore, which is common. They do wash up after they drown. I mean, we've had them where they drowned at where the police department I was working at. They drowned, and it might be a week or 2 weeks before they wash up, but all of them wash up. The fact that, I mean, I wouldn't say all, but I don't think there's ever a case that I remember that they didn't recover the body. The weekend after the car was found, Class Kids, the organization that does search and rescue volunteers, found it after Polyclass case went on the news. I think Mr. Klaus or whatever had founded that organization. They did a pretty good, extensive search, found some fragments of clothing on the beach and pieces of jewelry found, but all of it did not belong to Tiffany. And I don't know if you've ever walked down the beach extensively, and I'm not talking about where the crowds go, but away from that, where the surf goes in and tide goes up, you'll find all kinds of stuff on the beach. And we've actually found bones on the beach, human bones on the beach. And it turns up it was from somebody that fell off a boat, oil boat or oil rig or something like that. But it takes a long time for them to find a DNA match. The one thing I wish they had the security cameras on the beach at the toll booth did record her vehicle coming in, but it was just not at the right angle to catch the person driving the car. If that would have been it, that might have solved this whole crime of and I believe either she was abducted or she was killed or something that, taken from the scene or taken before she got out. You realize this, she told her boss she would not be at work for the next couple of days. That tells me she had a plan with somebody to go somewhere, and that plan with whoever that person is possibly led to her demise. Either she was taken, abducted, and used in human trafficking, which that is a big, huge thing at the Gulf Coast, or she was maybe tried to get into something like that or fooled into something, and then she was killed. Let's hope not, but she could have been led to that demise. I was trying to get a description of this guy, but I don't see it here. And maybe when I go over to this this thing, there was a possible sighting of her just outside of New Orleans, inside a restaurant. They said that the waitress came over and she was familiar with this case, and she saw an older Spanish lady, appeared to be Mexican lady or Spanish descent, and she had two girls with her. And this was several months after the disappearance in January of 2014. Said that this was in Metairie, Louisiana, outside of New Orleans. Reported to them shortly after the disappearance that this older woman came in with two ladies and a Latino lady, and they were nice. The woman was nicely dressed, but the younger women were not. They behaved kind of sheepish, both wearing long sleeve shirts despite the warm weather, with cuffs pulled over their hands. Now, I don't know if that is where you've seen them where they put their fingers through it. It's kind of weird. It's kind of like trying to hide any tattoos on it. It said when the waitress told one of the younger women that she looked like the woman or the woman missing from Florida, the group basically got up and left. But before then, they ordered something, and the girl, the one that looked like Tiffany, said she ordered a fish and asked if they used fish or chicken broth because she was I don't know what you call it, where you don't eat anything except for fish and vegetables. You don't eat chicken, don't eat meat. And that she would always ask that when they ordered food. So when right after that, she said that's one kind of key that her daughter would do that all the time. So that's kind of weird, you know, unless you, she would ask the restaurant to substitute the chicken broth for fish broth. So I would have never thought of that. Of course, I don't have that. As you can see, I don't have the eating disorder of eating just, I wouldn't call it a disorder. I guess it's your choice, eating vegan or this, whatever they call that. I don't know exactly what they call that. But they call it, let me tell you what they call it. I can't pronounce it. It's PESCETARIAN, which normally avoided any chicken-based foods. So that kind of drew their attention to her right there. And then the fact that they mentioned that you look like this girl, and then they just got up and left before the food got there. So that was very weird. So that they thought right there that she might be taking in human trafficking. My dog's coughing down here on the ground. Let me pick her up here. Ew. Gracie, see, I'm on the computer. But anyway, this is our small dog. She wants to be held. They said that it says here why traffickers prefer to target women in their late teens. She actually looked basically, she looked younger. I know detectives, and I'll show you how detectives in Pensacola and Santa Rosa County and all that, they're on the ball. They really are. If this would have happened in a lot of other cases, some of them, like the Jennifer Casey case and stuff, might have been solved. They went over there, and what I can read about it is Interstate 10 runs all down through that portal, and that's a major human trafficking port for prostitution, truck stops, and using these human trafficking in the other areas. But I believe they went over there to the restaurant, or at least they investigated that and tried to get the video of the restaurant. But between times, the video had already been recorded over, and a lot of them don't have saved that. And let me touch a little bit on human trafficking on the Gulf Coast and on I-10. A lot of the human trafficking you'll see it's not like human trafficking outside of the United States. They'll take advantage of these women that are in prostitution, and then they'll basically traffic them that way. But what we have seen, and I mentioned it in the Jennifer Casey video, but I'll say it again, is we had a lot of Russian, Jamaican, Asian women that were brought over here on they published flyers all over these countries saying, come to paradise, make tons of money, and send it back home, basically. And they would come over and they'd work. They would get with these agencies, and these agencies, some of them were legit. There's no doubt. Some of them were very legit. But most of them charged $2 an hour for them to work for the jobs. They would work in these souvenir shops for $10 an hour. They would take $2 an hour. So they would import like 400 or 500 of these. So you can figure $1,000 an hour. They would put 15 of them in a apartment. They charge them $400 a month to live in the apartment with 15 other people. They'd actually have locks on the outside of the bedroom doors. I've seen that myself. And these are the ones that take advantage of it. They would take their passport, which is totally illegal for them to do. And they would put some of them in prostitution. We investigated a prostitution ring. They were charging $1,000 an hour for these Russian girls. They were very good-looking girls, but they were basically human trafficking these girls. So, apparently something is up with this, and I don't understand. She very well could have been trafficked, human trafficking. And, they may have had somebody that approached her and said, hey, we love your artwork. We would love to get you into this artist thing. And boom, took her. And I'm not saying that's what happened, but it sure looks like that this sighting was suspicious, if nothing else. Now, it said the subsequent development said it, the second anniversary of Tiffany Daniels' disappearance in 2015 led to two developments in the case. Investigation of Discovery Cable Network decided to revive the series Disappeared, and this dog of mine's driving me crazy. A crew from the network went out to Pensacola and filmed a they filmed locations associated with the case and did a reenactment, and where they interviewed the parents, the sister, and some of her friends to help with the investigation. Before the episode aired, the first new evidence of the case since the original investigation surfaced. In December 2015, Daniels' family and police disclosed that in the wake of the coverage of the case, Tiffany's car was discovered, and that they've seen a man in his 30s. Okay, here's where it is, and I apologize. Like I said, I was in a hurry to get in here, and so I didn't have this marked up. I have usually notes and everything, but they said that a man in his 30s wearing red shorts and no shirt was opening up the car's tailgate, or this 4Runner's tailgate. Report is consistent with two witnesses, and it said that they saw a man leave the car after it was parked there. Witnesses remembered this because the car was parked unusually facing the oncoming traffic. In other words, he had backed up the 4Runner into the parking spot, one, possibly to keep the tag from being exposed when police were notified of the disappearance. I'm sure that they gave that tag number out as being a bolo, be on the lookout for. So he backed it in to not be discovered easily. And if you go to Wikipedia, you can look up her name and you can find out all kinds of stuff about this case. It immediately brought attention to me, and I've always been interested in trying to solve this case. However, until we find out, one, who was she going to meet after she got off work? Two, what were their plans to meet? And when they met, what happened? Because if we knew who she was going to meet up with, say it was just another stranger, a new boyfriend, a friend from work, anything, and then maybe they were going camping in the woods, and then maybe something happened in the woods. Maybe they tried to do something with her. Maybe she fell, hit her head. We don't know anything. We don't know anything because she gave no hints, at least to the roommate that she was living with, this Nichols guy, Gary Nichols. She gave no indication to him where she was going. He's the one actually that we're missing. And I believe that he was very cooperative, and I don't know if they polygraphed him to know if something was going on with him. I don't know all the investigation on him. I know pretty much from what I've read that he's not a suspect. So I'm assuming that they don't know what happened between the time she went to work, the time she went back to the house, and when she left the house. We don't know where she went after that. We do know their car was found at Fort Pickens a few days after that. So, I think the one thing, I think all cases are solvable. All of them are solvable. But until we get some information, or somebody out there knows something, that is no doubt somebody knows something. The fingerprint, I'm hoping that the police down there will put that thing in an investigative envelope in APHIS, maybe, where if this guy's ever stopped, arrested, anything, that it come up, boom, pop in there, and they'll get an ID on him. And he might not have killed her, he might not have took her, but at least we know he was in the car. This fingerprint belongs to somebody. And that in itself bothers me, because you got a guy that left that fingerprint that is not in the system. So that tells me that maybe this was somebody that's a law-abiding citizen, never been arrested, and he was going to meet with her about a job or something, and then something happened and she ends up dead. That worries me too, that as long as this guy never commits a crime ever again or gets in trouble, this case maybe go unsolved, period. Or maybe, but I've never seen a criminal, and I call it a criminal even if this is his first criminal act. I've never seen one that didn't tell somebody something, didn't break down and cry or somebody and tell them something. It may be later on, it may be 20 years from now, but we're hoping and praying that somebody will tell somebody something about this case, and it will lead to either discovery of her body or discovery of her. And I believe that all cases are solvable. Every one of them. Somebody knows something. That is, that should have really been the name of this channel, that somebody knows something. But and I appreciate everybody being on here tonight, and that can maybe give some ideas on what would happen. We hope the channel, we hope you will subscribe to the channel. I have a couple of things here that I usually run at the bottom here like this. It tells when we have our live stream, and what we hope to do is we hope that you will come here and share your opinions and share your ideas and share your beliefs on what could have happened to each one of these people that we feature on this channel. Because I said in one of my other live streams, I'm not doing this for money. I'm not making any money from doing this. I'm not asking you for any money. I'll only do it as long as I get subscribers and people interested in hearing what we have to say. Because I know that I'm not an expert on everything that I talk about. I do have a lot of experience in law enforcement. I have a lot of experience with some people, but unfortunately, we're talking about things that some of these people may never be found. I'm hoping they will, and I'm hoping they'll be found alive. But unfortunately, the type of cases that we're talking about, especially people that are missing, since 2013, you're talking about, 7, nearly 8 years. It's going to take somebody coming up and saying, I heard this, or, I heard a friend say this, or, the guy that actually parked the car, I want to talk to him. I want to interview him. He might have been, he may have been the person that she was meeting. He may be just a flunky sent by somebody to park it. I can't imagine that the actual guy that took her or was involved in her disappearance, I can't imagine him be the one that actually went out in broad daylight and took the car and dropped it off and walked away from it. I can't imagine him doing that. If he did that, if we discovered that he was the one that did that, and he's the one that took her or did something to her, then you're dealing with a very, very dangerous individual. Very dangerous, because he's willing to put himself out there in the public's eye with the risk of being discovered. He's very dangerous. Very dangerous. I've been watching on TV, and my wife said it's because that I'm a cop that once a cop. I was a cop. I've been watching this very scary people, and they had the Night Stalker in the 70s, late 70s. My dog's gonna make me pick her up again. She demands to be held. Uh, the Night Stalker in the mid 70s, and he didn't wear a mask or anything. Broke into these houses. He killed a lot of his victims. He actually he killed a lot, but he also yeah, I do appreciate you, Laura, sharing this with your friends. I really do. And I'm very proud of the subscribers, every one of you. I love all of you. But the Night Stalker let people see him. He did stuff in broad daylight. He was a Satan worshiper, self-proclaimed Satan worshiper. But he didn't fear the police. He let people see him. He killed some. He didn't kill some. He let people do diagrams, even after his diagrams were out on the public and looked a lot like him. That he went ahead and did it again, continued to kill. So that's what I'm saying. If this guy is responsible for her being missing, and he went out in public like he did and did that, opened her car and delivered her car, I'm saying, man, this is a dangerous individual. He will do it again. Probably has done it again. But I don't understand why his fingerprint's not coming up. So I hope that the Santa Rosa County is still submitting this. And I'm hoping also that they have DNA that they didn't share. My dog took out a backward sneeze. That's what the vet says that is, a backward sneeze. But I'm hoping that they left DNA and they're just not sharing that. And I know the police are not sharing everything that they know. I know that. They hold something back just in case when they do get that suspect, that if he says anything about only what the killer would have known, then, and listen, I'm not saying she's dead. I'm just saying that she has vanished without a trace. And, even as bad as the human trafficking is, it would be good if they would find her alive, and she would have to put back through deprogramming. And just like Elizabeth Smart, I would have never believed that she would actually be found alive, and because normally, if you're not found within the first 24 hours, if you're seriously abducted or taken or something's happened to you, if you're not found within the first 24 hours, then something bad, unfortunately, has happened. And, I like to be able to smile, and hopefully that's a scary smile in itself. But I would love to be able to smile and say, oh, we found her and everything's going to work out. But human trafficking is real, folks. I'm going to tell you, it is real. Birmingham, Alabama, huge center for trafficking. Atlanta, huge center. Any place that's got the interstate running right through it, you got an issue. And I-10 is a corridor that runs from Florida all the way across the United States. So, but most of your human trafficking domestic is prostitution. They work for prostitution. So, but I don't know. I'm hoping that she's alive. That's all I am. But we hope to have a website up. I'm working on that. If I can get a website up, I will put a poster up of everybody we feature on here. And what I'm asking you to do too, if you could come over to go to my email or post it in the comments. If you have some information on any one of these cases, I don't care how small it is, or if you heard something or you saw somebody post something online that you thought was weird or scary, if you will send me an email, and that's the missing livestream at gmail.com, I will forward it to the proper authorities, I promise. I'm not a full-time law enforcement officer right now, but I'm retired in good standing, And I have a lot of friends that are FBI and DEA, and a lot of friends with U.S. Customs that work the multi-jurisdictional human trafficking. And I have the contacts to get this information to them. They will take it seriously, I promise. I'm still looking for some moderators for our channel. And I've had some people ask, just what does a moderator do? Well, a moderator basically is what you come on just about every time that we stream. I'm going to try to stream Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 7 o'clock. If something comes up on one of these cases, like I've been watching and keeping up with the Susan Morphew case, if something comes up on that case or any one of these cases, or a missing person that is relative to my live stream, I'm gonna come in there on that day. It might be a Tuesday, or it might be a Thursday, or it might be a Saturday or Sunday. I'm going to come in with an update, and it'll be in the form of a live stream. Now, I did make a video trailer. I'm not real satisfied with it because I say I'm kind of crude in it almost, and it is a video format, and it's on our channel, our main channel that has all the videos, and it's been posted on YouTube. But the moderator, get back to the moderator, I apologize for skipping around. A moderator actually comes in on when we're streaming, and they basically monitor the post. So if I get somebody that wants to post some email to a pornographic site or porn in any way, they'll be able to tell them, hey, we don't allow this on the site. And I've got to go back looking on YouTube and see if there's a way that I can go ahead and block them, or possibly the moderator would be able to go ahead and block them. And also the moderator would welcome anyone into the chat. Like someone would come in, they say, welcome to the chat, or so-and-so. And we encourage comments. I don't want any racial hatred, political, that type of comments. It's just not, I'm not going to share my political views on this stream. It's just not fair to somebody with the opposite views, even though, because I believe in free speech, but I believe that you should free speech your political views on another format, not here. We're not trying to, this is not a political site. This site is to help find missing people. And, that's what I encourage here. I want everybody to be respectful of each other. And a lot of the comments I'm getting into this Suzanne Morphew case is that they believe the husband's guilty. He's guilty. And I say, let's wait for the evidence to come in. Sure, I made a rant on there that says, that I did not understand. I'll let you look at my dog in a minute too. She's a lot better to look at than I am. But I made a rant, and because I was upset at Barry that he didn't do a news conference. He doesn't get out there on the street corner. He's not actively looking for his wife or sharing all this. He puts out a 15-minute pre-recorded video. And if he's scared of what the press is going to ask him during the news conference, then I have a problem with that. Very suspicious to me. But anyway, I won't go into that. It gets me aggravated when I think about him and how less he's doing to search for his wife. But, Elizabeth Swart was a miracle. You're absolutely right. It was a miracle. Thank you. My dog is cute. This is our small dog. This is Gracie. She is about 10 years old. She's born on 4th of July, about 10 years ago. This was actually supposed to be my son's dog, but you see where she's actually living now. And we have a Labrador retriever that is about 3 years old now, but 2.5 now. And this one bosses the lab around big time. Say bye. I'm going to put you down now, okay? Can you say bye? No? No? Okay. But we're going to continue to follow this case and many others. I wish I had more information on this case that would share it. But all, like this case and all of my cases that I put out there, I encourage you to go look up what's going on with them. Keep up with them. Look at the posters. See if anything rings a bell. Thank you, Lauren. Anything rings a bell. Share with your friends. That is one thing I want to do on this channel. Is I'm trying to get these people to be these cases to be remembered, and maybe somebody has some information. And like I said, if I could speak to that guy that went out to that truck, I would just say, look, man, can you please give the family some closure one way or the other? Can you please, because the families are the ones that are suffering right now. I can't imagine going to bed every night wondering where my daughter or son was. I couldn't imagine it. And I had somebody ask, well, why are you only covering females right now? Well, it just happened to be that's the way as they say, the cookie crumbles right now. One is females to me are more vulnerable about being taken in human trafficking or being disappearing and taken in other ways. They are males out there that are, but I kind of feel more that the female is the one that would be more apt to be taken and forced into human slavery and human trafficking. Although we are going to cover some males that are missing. I'm not restricting this to females only. But unfortunately for the male race, I'm not going to have any males on here for a little bit. There's a couple of other cases that I've been asked to look into. The only thing is, I'm not going to research cases that are murders, not currently. Maybe someday, but that's not what this is about. I'm not trying to be a crime fighter right now and try to follow in something on a murder case. There's enough people that are missing that we don't know what's happened to them to be reported on. And hopefully we can generate some leads for law enforcement that will, that I can pass on to law enforcement. And believe me, I'm not going to just, if somebody emails me with a lead that I believe can help law enforcement, I won't wait 2 minutes. I'll call them right then. I'll talk to the investigators. I'll talk to my friends that are still in the field doing this work. And like I said in the other video, don't pay attention to the news media when they talk about the FBI being not any good. They're talking about the higher echelons at the FBI, the guys in Washington, the political structure of them. I know some guys that work for the FBI they're smart street cops. They are top notch. They would do anything to help solve crimes. They would work. I had an FBI agent, I'm not going to mention his name here, but we were working some child predator cases. And these I needed a computer out of a city in Mobile, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I called him, woke him up, and asked him, man, I'm sorry to have to call you at this time of the morning, but we just arrested this guy, and he's a child predator, and I really believe he's got a bunch of stuff on his computer, and the computer's in a trailer outside of Mobile. He said, I'm on it. Went and got it in the middle of the night. Actually, the early morning, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So those guys in the field, the local agents that work in these field office, they're top notch in my book. Same way with U.S. Customs and U.S. Marshals and all these guys, even DEA. I mean, they're real good. So anyway, I'm gonna get off here tonight. It's been over an hour, and hope that you will come back. I hope you will share our channel. I hope if you're not subscribed, that you will. This is a little information for everybody. 87% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed. 87%. And that's from Google or YouTube Analytics. I get analytics. I can look at the majority, 85% are female that watch these, that watch the videos. But 87% don't even subscribe. I don't offer them enough something that they want to come back to. And you know what? I'm okay with that, because I'm just glad I have you guys out there that take the time out of your schedule to, and thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. I really do. But I'm glad that I have you that want to watch this and get something good out of it. If you have any information on anything we do, or if you have a missing person case that you would like me to look into, no matter if it's a child missing person, if it's an adult, if it's, I do, if you've got a missing person case that just happened the last couple of days, I tend to go to those and see if it's possibly, especially if it's a teenager, if it's a runaway case. If there's something that causes you to feel like this case needs to be put out there in the air, I'll do it. That's just how it is. I will do it. Because if we can help somebody find somebody and close a case, bring it up. Send me an email if you would like to be a moderator. If you feel like you come, you won't have to be every single time that we're on. But if you think you might be interested in it, you can go to YouTube and search on YouTube for what is a YouTube moderator. They do give a little thing on it, how to be a moderator. And I would appreciate it. I will talk to you there. And if you got information on any of these cases I do, I would appreciate too if you go back and watch our other videos. If you share our videos, I would really appreciate it. And I hope to see you on Wednesday, when right now I don't know what I'll be doing, but I promise you I would be better prepared. I promise you. It was just a crazy day today. And I was in Tennessee earlier and came back, and I came in the house at 10 till. So I got everything together. And also I'm going to try to read. They have something that tells me that I can actually get this brightness off my glasses. This is actually 2 lights here that I have that you have to have the green screen that's allowing me to put the missing behind me up here to be able to do that. And it's got to have a lot of light on it to do that. And so if I can, I want to show y'all one thing. I did post this last time. 600,000 people go missing every year. That's the extent of the problem. 600,000 and 4,400 bodies are discovered that they cannot find out there. Who these are remaining. And this is with NamUs. Anybody can join NamUs. You fill out a little thing and you can go and NamUs and look up missing persons. It'll tell you a short little circumstance of how they got missing. It'll show you some stuff on bodies recovered that they're trying to find out who they belong to. And so you don't really you don't really know. It's just really something to see. NamUs is used by law enforcement a lot, and they do have a law enforcement section on it that gives you a lot more details about the bodies that were discovered, where they're discovered, case investigation things, and also missing persons. But it does allow for the normal citizen to be a member, and I am currently a member of NamUs. So anyway, the channel is anyway, and it does have my name and everything with it. See if that's all. It does say about, I was reading some references to this, does believe the parents believe she has been human trafficked. So maybe if that's the case, we can get her home. Maybe that will put some information out to somebody and we'll get her home. Well, I appreciate, like I said, everybody coming in tonight, and we hope that you will refer us, give it to your friends, and we hope to see you next time on Wednesday. And like I said, I don't know yet what I'll be talking about, but in between times, I will be better prepared than I was tonight. Okay, apparently she needs to go outside, so I'll let you go. Thank you again for coming by, and hope to see you Wednesday night. Have a good night. And God bless you.